At least 7 people are now confirmed dead as Hurricane Irma sweeps through the Caribbean, leaving immense destruction. The Category 5 storm brought winds of up to 300 km an hour, wreaking havoc in the areas it's passing most directly over. Irma started in deeper water and way further out to sea than most tropical cyclones. Later, we'll consider what that means. But first, Bridget Burke on Barbuda's Prime Minister describing the island as barely habitable and warning of a possible mass evacuation as another hurricane follows Irma's tail.
Hurricane Irma, a massive Category 5 storm, making landfall in the Caribbean, packing winds of almost 300 kilometres an hour. Amateur video showed Irma battering the French island of Saint-Martin with boats and debris piled up along the coastline. And footage from a fixed beach camera on the island shows torrential rain and violent winds unleashed by Irma, one of the most powerful Atlantic storms in a century. Aerial footage shows what's left of the tiny island of Barbuda. Prime Minister Gaston Brown, who visited hours after Irma had passed, said at least 90% of structures have been destroyed and the island is now barely habitable. He warned the island's entire population of 1,700 may have to be evacuated with another hurricane, Jose, following closely behind Irma.
Some properties have been totally demolished. It is absolutely heart-wrenching. I mean, the infrastructure, the utilities infrastructure was damaged. The physical infrastructure was damaged. You'd recognize, too, that the island is literally under what? You know that we are threatened now potentially by yet another storm, Hurricane Jose. And if that is the case and it's coming our way, then clearly we will have to evacuate the residents of Barbuda.
Mr. Brown warned a mass evacuation of the island could begin within the next 12 hours. After wreaking havoc in Barbuda, the storm began lashing Puerto Rico, where WSMV reporter Carly Gordon is holidaying.
Leading up to the storm, it was really scary for me personally because every time you ask a local, are you afraid, and you're looking for some sort of comfort, in their response, they say, yes, we're afraid. The last hurricane they remember was 1998. It was a Category 3 or 4, and they lost power for a really long time, had to evacuate. You know, I think that long after we are off this island, they could possibly be without electricity for months at a time. Just really could devastate this place. At our hotel, the staff, they're only, a handful that stay behind, but we talked to one young lady who she chose to stay here and work because she knew it was going to be more dangerous in her apartment. So, yeah, it's really sad and scary at this point.
In Florida, residents stocking up on food, water and other essentials. Florida Governor Rick Scott warning that Irma could be even worse than Hurricane Andrew, which devastated the state in 1992.
Remember, we can rebuild your home, but we cannot rebuild your life.
Authorities in the state are not taking chances, ordering a mandatory evacuation in the Florida Keys.
We could be looking at wave heights that would literally put the ocean over the islands. We've got to remember we're an island community and islands go underwater.
It's going to be crazy getting out of here. It's going to be gridlocked. Getting out of the Keys, there's only one way in and one way out.
Residents of low-lying areas in densely populated Miami-Dade County were also urged to move to higher ground.
I'm scared. Category 5, never been through one, been through a 4, but never a 5, and I don't want to be here.
US President Donald Trump is closely monitoring the storm. The White House approved emergency declarations for Florida, Puerto Rico and the US Virgin Islands, mobilizing federal disaster relief efforts. Irma is expected to become the second powerful storm to thrash the US mainland in a matter of weeks, with Harvey killing more than 60 people and causing as much as $240 billion in damage after hitting Texas. For Checkpoint, Bridget Burke.